The gift no one wanted, she sat quietly on the cold bench of the orphan center, her hands folded in her lap, her tail curled around her legs like a scared animal. Her big violet eyes watched the door, but no one came for her. Again, her name was Liari, though most people didn't bother to learn it. She had been passed from one alien family to another 12 times in total. 12 times she had packed her little bag. 12 times she had smiled softly and hoped. And 12 times they gave her back. She doesn't talk, they said. She's too strange. There's something not right about her. So she waited, quiet, forgotten, and afraid. Across the room, alien children played loudly. A tall Centaurian girl kicked a glowing ball. A little reptilian boy chased after it, hissing with laughter. They didn't talk to Liari. They never did. She was too different. Even among orphans, the center's robot nurse, a kind unit named Luma 3, approached with soft steps. "You have a visitor today," it said gently. Liari blinked. A visitor? A moment later, the door opened and a human walked in. He looked tired. His clothes were worn. His face had a long scar down the left cheek. But his eyes were calm, searching. He scanned the room once, then stopped when he saw her. "That one," he said. The center worker, a blue-skinned woman with 4 arms, raised an eyebrow. "Her? Are you sure, sir?" "She's been returned many times." The human walked closer. Liari didn't move. She just looked up at him with those same quiet, glowing eyes. "What's her name?" he asked. "Liari." He kneeled down. "Hi, Liari," he said, his voice soft. "I'm Jack." She didn't answer. Just stared. Jack didn't mind. He didn't expect words. "I'm not good with kids," he said to the staff. "But I got space on my ship, and I think she needs it more than I do." The adoption was fast. The center wanted her gone. As they left, Luma 3 followed and handed Jack a small box. "Her things," it said. Inside, a folded blanket, a sketchbook, and a small broken star-shaped necklace. No toys, no letters, no memories. The ship wasn't much. An old freighter named the Rustwing. It creaked when it flew, and sometimes the lights flickered. But it was quiet, and it was free. Jack showed her the sleeping pod. "You can have this one," he said. "I'll take the cargo bay." Still no words. The first night, she sat by the window and looked at the stars. Jack watched her from a distance. She looked so small, so alone. The next day, she followed him around the ship, silently. She watched how he fixed a panel, how he cooked simple food, how he cleaned his old rifle. She didn't speak, but she was always watching. One evening, as Jack sat at the table eating rehydrated stew, he saw movement. She placed her sketchbook in front of him and ran back to her seat. He opened it. A drawing, him sitting just like he was now, with a soft smile on his face. His hands stopped moving. "She sees everything," he whispered. A week passed. Then, too, she still didn't speak, but she started to help. She handed him tools without asking. She brought him water when he coughed. She even tried to copy how he brushed his teeth. He didn't ask for much. He didn't push her to talk. Each day, she came closer. Each day, she looked less afraid. One night, Jack had a dream. He saw Liari crying inside a dark pod. Voices shouted outside. "She's dangerous," someone yelled. "She doesn't belong anywhere." The pod sealed, shut, and her face pressed to the glass was full of fear. He woke up sweating. When he got up to check on her, he found her standing outside his door. She was holding the broken star necklace. For the first time, she looked up and took one step forward. She opened her hand and placed the necklace in his. A gift, a piece of her past, given to someone Who might finally keep it. He smiled and held it gently. Thanks, kid. In the silence of space, two souls who didn't belong anywhere had finally found the beginning of something new. She wasn't speaking yet, but maybe. Maybe she didn't need to. Not yet. Not tonight. A human with no plan. Jack never planned to become a father, especially not to a quiet alien girl with glowing eyes and a broken necklace. He didn't even plan to visit the orphan center that day. He had landed on the station to buy spare parts, maybe a drink, and get out. But something about Liari had pulled him in. Like gravity. Like fate. Now she was on his ship, watching him. Always watching. She still hadn't spoken a word. Jack was used to silence. He had lived with it for years. Since the war ended. Since his crew died. Since he drifted from one star to another, with no one left to call home. But this silence was different. That it wasn't empty. That it was full of something he couldn't name. Day by day, Liari became a quiet shadow around the ship. She walked like she was, afraid to make noise. She ate small bites, always sitting across the table from Jack. She stared at his hands, his tools, his boots like she was studying everything. Sometimes she would disappear into corners. Jack let her be, but he always left food near her door. And a blanket in case she got cold. He didn't say much either. Just enough. You can sleep there tonight, all right? We're landing on a trade moon soon. You'll like it. I don't snore, but if I do, just kick the door. She never laughed. But once, just once, he thought he saw the corner of her mouth twitch. One afternoon, Jack was under the floor, fixing the power conduit. His hand slipped. A sharp spark cut into his palm. He hissed. Damn it, before he could move, Liari peered beside him. She didn't speak. She just held out a small cloth. He blinked. Thanks. She didn't move until he wrapped the cloth around his hand. Then she nodded once and walked away. Jack stared after her. She was starting to trust him. Maybe later that night, he sat in the cockpit, staring at old photos. His old crew, smiling faces. All gone now. He felt Liari near before he saw her. She always moved like a whisper. She stood by the door, holding her sketchbook again. Jack looked up. More art? She walked over slowly and handed it to him. He opened the page. It was a drawing of him, bandaged hand, lying under the ship, wires everywhere. But next to him, drawn with soft glowing lines, was her, holding the cloth. He smiled. You're good at this, he said. She didn't reply, but she sat down across from him. First time she ever did that in the cockpit. They looked out the window together. Stars blinked past them like tiny lanterns. Where did you learn to draw like that? Jack asked gently. Silence. Then, barely above a whisper, he heard it. Nowhere. One word. Her first. Jack didn't show surprise. Didn't push her. He just nodded. Figures, he said. You made your own way, huh? She looked at him. Her eyes didn't glow as much now, but they seemed warmer. The next morning, Jack took her to the trade moon. It was a busy place. Ships landing, aliens yelling, bright signs flashing in 10 languages. Liari held Jack's coat as they walked. No one stared. She looked just alien enough to fit in. They stopped at a small food stall. Jack ordered something that smelled like cinnamon and salt. He handed it to her. She took a bite and smiled. Small, soft, real. Jack didn't say anything. But inside, something moved in his chest. Something heavy and old that had been quiet for too long. On the way back to the ship, a merchant shouted at them. Hey, human, that your girl? Jack turned. Yeah. Why? The merchant smirked. Be careful. Heard there's a bounty out for a kid like that. Energy signature. Strange eyes. Dangerous type. Jack's jaw tightened. He didn't respond. just took Liari's hand and walked faster. Inside the ship, he closed the door and locked it. Liari looked up at him. Her smile was gone, now she had. Heard Jack kneeled down in front of her. "You don't have to be scared," he said. She looked at him, silent. "I don't care what they say," he continued. "You're not dangerous. You're not broken. You're not going anywhere. Not without me." For a moment, nothing happened. Then she stepped forward, and wrapped her arms around him. Her first hug. Jack froze. Then slowly, gently hugged her back. Outside, the stars moved. Inside, something even bigger had begun to move. Two lives, broken by the galaxy, were starting to fit together, and neither of them had a plan. But maybe that was the point. Silence in the cabin. The stars outside whispered across the window like soft waves. Inside the ship, everything was quiet, almost too quiet. Jack sat in the cockpit, going through old flight logs. His mind should have been focused on fuel levels, engine health, and roads. But at WA_T, it kept drifting back to Liari. Since that one hug, something had changed. She still didn't speak much, but she moved with more comfort. She didn't hide in corners. She walked the halls like they belonged to her too, and now she had made the cabin her own. Jack passed by her room one morning and stopped. The door was half open. Sunlight from a nearby star spilled in through the window. And there, in the middle of the room, was Liari floating. She wasn't standing. Her feet hovered 6 inches off the ground. Her eyes were closed, her hands glowing faint blue, like smoke trapped in glass. Jack didn't move. He didn't breathe. Then, as suddenly as it started, she dropped to the floor. The glow faded. She opened her eyes and saw him. For a moment, they just stared at each other. Then she looked down, like a child caught doing something wrong. "I'm sorry," she whispered. Jack stepped into the room. "Don't be." Later, over dinner, Jack tried to ask without scaring her. "That thing you did, floating, that normal for your kind?" She shook her head. "I don't have a kind." That sentence hit hard. He didn't push. "Do you know what it is? What's inside you?" Liari looked down at her hands. "Energy," she said quietly. "But not normal. Not from this galaxy." Jack raised an eyebrow. "You're saying you're not from this galaxy?" She nodded once. "I was found in a black pod, floating alone near a dying star. No planet, no data chip. Just me." Jack leaned back in his chair. That explained a lot. The reason the other. Species returned her. Not just fear, but confusion. She didn't match any known DNA. Her energy couldn't be tracked. She was a mystery. And in this galaxy, people feared mysteries. Over the next few days, Jack noticed other things. The lights near her flickered, sometimes dimming or glowing warmer when she was close. The engine's hum softened when she walked by. The plants. He grew in the hydro room? They started blooming faster. She never noticed. Or maybe she was hiding it. One evening, Jack had to leave the ship for repairs on a dusty refueling station. He told Liari to stay inside. She nodded. But when he came back, the front hatch was open. His heart dropped. "Liari?" No answer. He ran inside, grabbing his old pulse pistol. He searched every room. Nothing. Then he heard something coming from the engine room. He rushed in and stopped cold. Liari was floating again, but this time she wasn't alone. Floating. Beside her, suspended in the air, were tools, wires, screws, metal panels. They moved like a dance, twisting and shifting into place. She was repairing the engine. Without touching a single thing, the entire room glowed a soft blue-white light. Jack stood frozen. She noticed him, and everything dropped. The parts clattered. The light vanished. She stumbled back, eyes wide with fear. "I didn't mean to," she cried. "It was broken. I just wanted to help." Jack slowly lowered the pistol. "Liari," he said quietly, "you fixed the whole engine?" She nodded. Shaking, he looked around. The broken panel repaired. The humming perfect, smoother than it had been in years. "Kid," he whispered, still amazed, "you just saved me 2,000 credits and a week of work." She blinked. "You're not in trouble," he added, walking forward. "You're incredible." Liari's lips trembled. No one ever said that before. Jack smiled. "Then I guess you've been with the wrong people." That night, Jack sat in the cockpit, recording a private message. Note to self, Liari's. Energy isn't just rare, it's advanced. Like tech and biology mixed. She speaks soft, but her presence affects machines, light, even living things. I don't think she's just a lost child. He paused. I think she might be something the galaxy has never seen. Behind him, Liari stood at the door. She didn't speak. Just listened. She wasn't afraid this time. Maybe. She was starting to believe it too, that she wasn't a problem. She was a gift. Outside the ship, something beeped. An alert. A long-range scan. Jack opened the console. One line blinked on the screen. Bounty upgraded. Unidentified energy child. Wanted by Zarn Malater. Jack's eyes narrowed. So they were watching. They wanted her, but they'd have to go through him first. He stood, turned, and looked at Liari. "We've got trouble coming, kid." She tilted her head. "Do we run?" Jack smiled. "Not yet. The hidden power the next 3. Days were quiet. Too quiet. Jack stayed alert. Liari watched him more closely now, like she could feel something coming. She wasn't wrong. They were flying near the edge of a trade route, in a small region of deep space known as the Ghost Line. No stations. No patrols. Just stars and silence. That's when it happened. An alarm screamed in the cockpit. Tracking beacon detected approaching ship at high speed. Jack cursed and sat up fast. Someone found us. Liari ran to his side, her eyes wide. On the radar, a red dot was moving straight toward them. Jack checked the signal ID. Zarn military scout class hunter. He clenched his jaw. They're not here to talk. The ship shook as the hunter fired a warning blast across their path. The light flickered. Liari grabbed Jack's arm. "We can't outrun them," she whispered. "I know," Jack said, voice calm but sharp. "But I'm not letting them take you." He ran to the weapons panel. It was mostly empty. Just one working pulse cannon and a shield booster. Not enough. The Zarn ship hailed them. A cold voice spoke. "Surrender the child. No harm will come to you," Jack growled. "Lying bastards." Liari stepped forward. "Maybe I should go. Maybe they'll stop." "No," Jack snapped. He knelt down in front of her. "Listen to me. They don't want to help you. They want to use you. You're not their tool. You're not their prisoner." She looked at him. Her eyes were starting to glow. He noticed. "You feel it, don't you?" he asked. She nodded slowly. "Something inside me. It's waking up." Jack took her hand, then let it. The ship shook again. A second warning shot. They were charging weapons. Jack ran back to the cockpit. "Hold on." He pulled the ship into a sharp dive, dodging plasma blasts through the asteroid field nearby. But the Zarn ship was faster, stronger. Then one shot hit the side engine. Sparks flew. The ship jerked. They were spinning. Jack hit the controls, trying to stabilize. "I can't hold it." Then suddenly silence. Everything stopped. The lights went dark. The ship floated, lifeless. Jack blinked. No, come on." Then he turned and saw Liari. She stood in the center of the ship, hands lifted, eyes glowing pure white. Her body was surrounded by a swirling field of light and energy like a storm made of stars. Her voice echoed louder, deeper, not like a child's. Do not touch him. The Zaran ship locked weapons, but before they could fire, the Rustwing lit up. The broken panels repaired themselves. The dead engine flared to life. The shields rose without a single touch from Fish. Jack. And then something impossible happened. The enemy ship lost power. Just shut down. It floated dead in space, like something had ripped its core out. Jack stood in awe. What did you do? Liari blinked and collapsed. Jack caught her. Her body was warm, but her breathing was slow. She had used too much. Later, she woke in the med-bed. Jack sat beside her. I broke something, she whispered. No, he said softly. You saved us. She blinked. He leaned closer. Liari, what are you? She looked away. I don't know. I just feel full of something big, something old. Jack took her hand. I don't care where you came from. I care where you belong. She looked into his eyes, and this time she didn't look away. Later, Jack opened a hidden file he hadn't touched in years, his military access folder. He scanned for old war records, ancient myths, strange tech reports. Then he saw something. Black file, marked Project Echo, unknown energy life form. Rejected by multiple systems, considered unstable. Possible key to interdimensional travel. All sightings. Classified. He stared at the photo attached. It wasn't perfect, but the shape, the glow, the eyes. It was Liari. He closed the file. Now he knew why everyone feared her. She wasn't just different. She might be the most powerful being in the galaxy. And no one understood her, but Jack did, and he had already made his choice. He stood up and walked back to her room. She was drawing again. This time, it was a picture of the enemy ship frozen in space, with her glowing in front of it like a star. He smiled. You're getting better. She looked up. I'm trying. He knelt beside her. More people will come, not just to catch you, but to control you. Liari nodded. I won't let them, she said. Her voice didn't shake. This time, she sounded sure. Bounty on her name. The bounty went galaxy-wide the next day. Every mercenary, hunter, smuggler, and pirate across the outer ring got the alert. Target, unknown energy child. Species, unidentified. Age, young. Reward, 5 million credits, alive. Only. And below the words was a grainy image of her face. Liari. Jack stared at the screen, in silence. His ship was hidden in a dusty gas cloud. No signals, no trace. But for how long? She's not prey, Jack whispered. She's a child. But to the galaxy, she was a prize. Liari sat across the table, sketching quietly. She had drawn a small planet, a home on a hill, and 2 people. Standing at the door, one looked like Jack, the other looked like her. He didn't say anything. He couldn't. The weight in his chest was too heavy. Are we safe here? She asked. Jack forced a smile. For now. But even Liari could hear the lie in his voice. They needed help. Jack only knew one person who might give it. Tess Riven, ex-smuggler. Tech genius. His oldest friend, and the only one who ever owed him a life. He sent the message, encrypted, hidden. Only 3 words. I need you. Tess arrived 2 days later in a cloaked ship. It landed beside the Rustwing like a shadow. She stepped out wearing dark goggles and a trench coat full of tools and attitude. Still getting into trouble, huh, Jack? Less trouble. More miracles. Liari peeked from behind Jack's coat. Tess paused. You weren't kidding, she said, voice quiet now. Is she the one? Jack nodded. Tess knelt and smiled at Liari. "Hey, little star. I'm Tess. I fix things." Liari tilted her head. "I don't think I'm broken." Tess laughed. "Good. Then I just help people run faster." Inside the ship, Tess worked quickly. She placed dozens of shield boosters, signal jammers, and false ID tags around the ship. "She's not just some random alien, Jack," Tess said as she typed on her wrist screen. "She's got power I've never seen." "You sure you know what you're doing?" Jack looked toward Liari, who was drawing stars on the wall with glowing ink. "I don't know what she is," Jack said softly, "but I know she trusts me. That's enough." Tess paused. "Then I'll help. But you'll need more than tech. To stay ahead of this bounty, you'll need to disappear." Jack raised an eyebrow. "You mean new identities?" Tess nodded. "New names, new ship codes, even fake death records." He looked back at Liari. "She's been passed around her whole life. Now they want her again." He clenched his fists. "She's not going anywhere without me." But the universe was already closing in. A team of bounty hunters landed on the same moon Tess had come from. 4 of them, cybernetic, armed, tracking, scent trails through space dust. Their leader, a lizard-skinned merc called Craven, looked at the signal. "She's close," he hissed. "I can smell the energy on the wind." He tapped a black chip against his wrist. The device flashed with a location Rustwing signal burst from 2 days ago. "Prepare the trap," he said. Meanwhile, back on the ship, Liari had another dream. She saw a burning star. She floated above it, hands glowing. Voices echoed all. Around her loud, angry, scared. "She doesn't belong. She's a weapon. She must be contained." Then one voice cut through them all. "Jax, she's a child." Liari woke up, breathing fast. Jack was sitting nearby, watching the radar. She walked to him, her bare feet silent on the floor. "They're coming," she whispered. He looked at her, surprised. "You saw it?" She nodded. He sighed. "Then I guess we don't wait." The plan was simple. Draw them in, then vanish. Tess loaded the false death record into the system. It showed the Rustwing exploding after a fuel overload, with fake remains. Left behind. Jack turned to Liari. "This means we can't go back to normal. Ever." Liari stepped forward. "I never had normal," she said. "I just had you." He smiled, then leaned down and said, "Then let's keep each other." She nodded. And for the first time, she reached for his hand. When Craven and his hunters reached the gas cloud, they found floating wreckage. Flames, shattered metal. Scanners picked up human DNA and alien traces. Craven growled, "It's them." But as he floated closer, a small device on a shard of the hull lit up. "Smile for the camera, lizard boy." Tesbo. The whole field exploded into a blinding storm of light. The Rustwing? Already far away. Invisible. Safe. For now. In the new ship logs, their names were erased. Jack became Kellen. Liari became Leary. But the bond between them? That stayed stronger than ever. And far away, in the dark heart of the Zarn Empire, a group of generals stood over a map. "She is awake now," one said. "She is bonding with the human," said another. And the third general said something that chilled the room. "The prophecy is beginning." Chosen by the heart, the stars were quiet now. The chase had stopped, at least for a while. Jack and Liari drifted far beyond any known map, past the trade lanes, past the patrol zones. They lived in the silence between galaxies, on a small green moon with blue skies and a single sun. It was peaceful. For now. Liari spent her days drawing, not just stars and ships, but memories. Her first hug, the broken engine she fixed, the moment Jack called her incredible, and something else. A symbol, a star inside a heart. She didn't know why, but it felt like it belonged to her. Jack built a small home out of scrap and stone. It wasn't much, but it was safe. It was quiet. And it was theirs. He started to sleep better, dream lighter. Sometimes he forgot the war gods sometimes. Liari even laughed, and every time she did, Jack felt like he'd won something no one else ever could. But deep inside, both of them knew peace like this couldn't last. Not when the galaxy still believed Liari was a weapon. Not when the Zarn Empire still whispered her name in fear. And one night, it came. A ship. Silent. Dark. But not a hunter. Not a scout. Something different. It hovered above the moon for an hour. Then sent a message. Simple one. We don't want to hurt her. We want to understand her. Jack didn't answer. He sat by the window, holding his old pistol. I don't trust them, he said quietly. Liari walked over, holding her sketchbook. They're not Zarn, she said. I saw them in a dream before. They wear white. They float like light. Jack turned to her. How do you know? I feel it, she said. Something in me calls to them. Jack looked down. He wanted to say no, wanted to protect her forever, but he also knew she wasn't just a child anymore. She was becoming. The ship landed the next day. Two beings stepped out tall, glowing softly, with transparent skin and golden eyes. Their voices were gentle. Their names were not shared. They bowed to Liari. You are not from this galaxy, one said, but from beyond the veil. Liari nodded slowly. I've always felt far away from everything. You were left behind, the other added. Your pod drifted for thousands of years before someone found it. But you were never lost. You were always meant to awaken. Jack stepped between them. What do you want from her? The beings looked at each other. She's the key to something old, something that was once peaceful, but was buried in war. We don't want to control her. We want to learn from her. They turned to Liari again, but only if she chooses. Liari looked at Jack. He didn't speak, just nodded. His eyes were soft, full of something deep, something heavy. I told you, he said. You're not mine to keep, but you'll always have a place here. In this heart? She smiled. Tears shimmered in her glowing eyes. You were the first to hold me without fear, she whispered. That made me strong. She turned to the glowing beings. I'll go with you, but only if I can return. You can, they said. You're free now. As Liari walked to the glowing ship, something happened. A wind rose. The stars shimmered brighter. The moon trembled slightly beneath her feet, and she began to lift into the air slowly, gently glowing brighter than ever. The beings looked up, in awe. She's awakening, one whispered. She is no longer just energy, the other said. She is sentient light. Inside the ship, Liari turned one last time. She placed her hand on the glass window. Jack stood below, watching. He gave her a small salute and the smile of a proud father. I'll be here, he said. I know, she whispered. And the ship rose into the sky quiet as a falling star in reverse. Weeks passed. Then months. Jack stayed on the moon, built more, planted trees, grew old slowly. He didn't know how long it would be, or if she would return, but he believed, because she had promised. Then one day, a ripple tore through space above him, a tear in the stars. A light appeared, and from that light, a ship returned. Liari stepped out, taller now, glowing still, but with the same sketchbook in her hand. She ran to him and hugged him like nothing had changed. I saw everything, she whispered. Worlds beyond stars, beings of energy, time that sings like music. He held her tightly. And yet, she said, none of them felt like home. They stood on the hill as the sun set, and Liari placed a new drawing in his hand. 2 figures, standing side by side, a heart between them inside it, a star. Below it, she had written only one sentence: I was passed from star to star, but only one heart chose me.